Hi everybody and welcome back to myself. Thank you for all your well wishes. I have been away for a little while. I have had co-hosts hosting the show, but I'm very excited to be back because I have got so many people lined up, very exciting people, people from different backgrounds. Even on today's show I have a very, very interesting gentleman who's sitting on my side who I'll introduce in a minute. And I just want to say that, you know, it's such a welcome to be back. And I would like to introduce my guest for today, Manjinder.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, Rani?
I'm
You good
fine,
today?
thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I've made a journey from Birmingham. The trains were delayed, but I'm glad that I'm here. So thank you for having me.
Oh, we're actually really privileged to have you here after watching all your blogs and stuff on TV, on YouTube. It's absolutely amazing you've done. By the way, guests, my dear guest today has wrote a beautiful book called Bollywood Gay, what he's going to tell you all about in a minute.
Yes.
After I shoot him a few questions which have been brewing up, not in just my mind, but a lot of people have been writing in to ask you, you know, how do you feel like, you know, why is there a stigma in our Indian community? How did you come over it?
Yeah, there is a huge stigma because when I was growing up, it was only men and women get married from a very young age. My mum was like, you know, your wife's gonna come and then she's gonna make round chapatis. We're gonna go to the Gurdwara. We're gonna have this. And from a very young age, you know, like very 8 years old, I was like, yes, mum, I'm gonna get married to a girl. It's gonna be like this. So much pressure that parents give to their child even before they're conceived. They need to be a doctor, a lawyer. They need to have this many kids.
Did you have a lot of that going on in your family?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what age were you when you came out in the open with your family, and what was their reaction?
So I came out in bits. So to my eldest sister at 18, after going to gay pride and getting drunk and for the first time and seeing how it was and feeling liberated, and she took it in a shocking way because I grew up in quite a argumentative household, a lot of fighting, so I was quite scared. And then my other sister again at the age of 23, and I always come out in the wrong way. The first sister was on the telephone when she was upset about something, and the second sister was via email when she was having her final exams. And then my parents, I came out at the age of, I think it was 25, when I was living in the Middle East, in Israel, working for the UN. I was very depressed, very suicidal, and I just felt like I had to tell them, and I did it via text message.
Oh my gosh, and what was their reaction?
So I thought, you know what, I'm going to be disowned, I'm going to be killed, forced to marry a woman. All the worst things can happen to me because of the family background, very conservative, very traditional family I come from. But luckily before that, a few years before that, when I was working in a homeless organisation, someone gave me a self-help book about getting rid of the guilt and shame and thinking positively. So that kind of helped me to kind of feel more relaxed about myself and feel comfortable. And the blog I read said you need to come out in order to have a boyfriend, because I couldn't get a boyfriend basically. I came out because I wanted to get a boyfriend, because I thought, what's the point of being gay if you can't get into a relationship? So I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what should I do. And one day I just blurted it on text, and I was shocked, but they took it really, really well, to my surprise. And I've written about that in my book as well, Bollywood Gay.
Oh wow, I can't wait to read it. And so what would you say, like, you know, there's another question. Do you feel that people are always, now that you've come out in the open, do you feel like they're always staring at you and judging you? Do you feel like you feel like you're looking over your shoulder?
They stare at me in a good way.
No, I know that. Well, an attractive guy, I wouldn't say, if I saw you, I wouldn't think you were gay, but, you know, but most of the good-looking guys are.
Yeah,
it's an actual fact.
There's a lot of good-looking guys everywhere, in London especially. But basically, when I first made the video with my mom, for example...
It was fantastic, by the way. I watched it last night because when you sent me the email that you come in on the show and I had to quickly market it, it was... I feel so proud that your mom actually had, you know, the courage to actually say to people that, you know what, shut up.
And she's a middle-aged woman, and she's like, would never talk about it. But she got really, to a point, she got really pissed off, right? Because people kept saying to her that, you know, these kids are making it up, they're doing it because it's fashionable, and they're lying, and your child is basically making this stuff for drama, And
for a bit of attention,
Attention. And then they kept quizzing her, especially like my dad's side of the family.
Yeah.
They were being quite nasty.
Yeah.
And to answer your question about like how other people reacted,
Yeah.
some of my dad's side of the family were saying stuff like, we're going to put a Black & Decker drill up your ass, or we're going to disown you, get rid of your surname, it's disgusting, what you're doing is nasty. And I wasn't even doing anything, right?
Yeah.
So, because I started talking about these topics, they were not happy. That's why my mum, we made the video for a lesbian in London and for her mother, and I was going to make it private, but I made it public, and we didn't expect the reaction. But my mum came to a stage where she's like, I want to tell people that there's nothing wrong, and that, you know, look at your houses, look what's happening in your homes, and you're directing it at me. And people in my family, my dad's family, were making up things like, oh, he's ran away from home, and I had never ran away from home. Their daughters had run away from home, and they were directing it towards me.
Well, you know what? We're both from the same Asian community.
Yeah.
Everybody's got nothing to do. Over a cup of tea, they will talk about everybody apart from what's going on in their own houses, right? And that's the worst thing about it, is that they don't want to talk about things that are in their own houses, but they're quick to talk about, oh, did you know what Manjinder done? Because they divert what's happening in their own houses, right? Which is another, again, you know, after I saw your mum's video, I was like, wow. So how were you accepted in the community, as in the temple? Were you allowed to go to the temple, or did people like...
The local temple is the Guru Nishkam Sevak Jata on Soho Road near my house, and they are fantastic. Because when I came out, my dad was like, oh, shall we take you to a doctor or a gurdwara, or like, shall we get you some this?
How did they deal with it?
So I came out, right, and then I went to sleep. I turned the phone off. On the text message, they said, the reason why I don't live at home, because that was a stigma as well. As a son as well, I was always abroad because I was doing human rights work.
You were the only son?
I'm the only son.
Yeah.
So then I said, it's because I want to help people, because of all the arguments, and because I'm gay, and there's nothing wrong with that, and just accept it. And I thought they were going to just go ballistic. And my poor sister had to translate the text messages because my parents don't understand English very well. And there's no like languages or words or literature about that. That's why I've written this book, which we'll explain later. So I went to sleep, and in the morning I got an email which said that, oh, you know what, we love you no matter what, it's fine, and we accept you, just answer your phone for God's sakes. And I did. And then my mom thought I was becoming transgender. She thought I was becoming hijra. She was like, do you have a penis? Like, I thought you were born with a penis. What's going on? You know, and...
Or they thought you wanted to have the sex change.
Or something happened, you know, to turn into a girl.
But you wanted to stay a boy, but just be attracted to boys.
Exactly, and they don't understand that. Because in India, that doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
It exists, but it's not shown out, right, to the public.
Because they're not allowed to talk about it,
And my dad thought I had a health problem, so he's like, don't worry, you know, I'll work extra hours at work for you. You can stay at home. I said, I'm not an invalid. I can work. So there were so many...
So they really didn't have a clue what it was?
No clue. And when I came back to the UK, my dad would ask me stuff like, oh, have you had sex yet? You shouldn't be having sex. Don't hang out with boys. Try to change yourself. Maybe we should get you a cure from India. And I said, no. And he accepted. Then he was like, where'd you get a fee? Once we went driving, right? And we came back home and we were walking towards the house. And he's like, where'd you get feeling, in the front or the back? And I was like, both places. So, so that was a bit of a shock.
Fantastic question.
I don't know what to say. And you know, like, we've never had sex education with my parents before.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have sex education on how it's like to be a gay. Like, which side do you get the feelings?
So they were asking me all these, so I've written it all in the book because I don't want other people to go through those uncomfortable things. And I'm quite funny and I'm quite honest with my parents, and we have banter. So it did work out well in the end. But it was all due to the fact that I removed that fear, became positive, and I work as a counsellor, as a life coach now for other people who want the same.
You work in a school as well, don't you?
At the moment, I work in a school with kids who come from very dysfunctional backgrounds. Like
let our viewers know about that as well.
So kids who come from sexual abuse, their parents are prostitutes, or they're taking drugs, drug dealers. They have no self-worth, and so I work as a counsellor, life coach, and a teacher there, and it's absolutely fantastic. I only started 2 weeks ago, but the experience and the positive impact that I'm having in the school is wonderful. And then I'm working with kids, people as well. So in my house, we always have transgender people, we have drag queens, we have gay guys, lesbians, people coming for tea, having counselling, speaking to my mom. So my whole house is kind of like a bit of an ashram, but it's fantastic. My parents are seeing things that they've never seen before.
Ashram. I hope your dad's not asking him them questions though.
No, we keep him away.
Oh my God. Okay, so another question I wanted to ask was, is there a big community where you live that accept gay people?
So you've got the gay scene, and
Yeah.
I'm from Birmingham, which is like the second largest city in the UK.
Yeah.
So you do have the gay scene, but there's a lot of racism because a lot of the gay scene is full of white people.
Yeah.
And generally, even with straight people, white people date white people, you know, Asians date Asians, you
Yeah.
know, Indians with
Oh, you
Indians.
get that a lot.
So you get all the differentiations. I think it's because
Loads of
of
prejudice.
a lot of prejudice.
Yeah.
Like on the dating profiles on the apps, they were like, no Asians, no blacks, no, you know, it's not, it's
Oh,
our, it's
wow.
our preference. But then you think about it, in the straight community, you have Muslim dating for Muslim dating, and then you have like, you know, Shadi.com. People date their own, their caste and their religion
Yeah, yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
But then you would think people who've been suppressed would be more open-minded.
Yeah, you would.
They're not so much so. And not that many Asians actually come out and are comfortable.
Yeah.
So they get married to women or some of the opposite sex, and they have, especially for girls, it's harder if you're lesbian, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
So we're a minority within a minority, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And but there are lots of movements happening now for gay. They call them Gaysians, gay
Yeah,
Asians.
yeah.
So there's lots of support groups and weekly meetings. And I'm actually starting something now. I'm starting workshop. I do workshops anyway.
Yeah.
For all sorts of people, but on self-worth and loving yourself. And I'm going to do some in Birmingham once a month, maybe in London, but I'm starting off. And I'm
Yeah, it'd be
having,
nice for people to travel from Birmingham away from their comfort zones to another destination. I think it'd be lovely for them to meet other people, you know, who
do a
have been through
retreat
it.
or something.
You mentioned earlier before we went on air that there's a village, a gay village in Birmingham.
Yeah, so
That's
Birmingham has a gay
fantastic,
village,
yeah.
and we had Gay Pride this weekend, and I think it's way better than London. Because in London, you walk, wait for 3 hours or so in the queue to
Yeah.
walk down the Trafalgar Square and all that, and then at the end, you can't hardly get into the concert area. Whereas
Yeah.
Birmingham, there's an area called the Gay Village. It's quite big.
What part
and
of Birmingham is that?
So it's in central Birmingham, so behind Bullring, where the Chinese Quarter is, by the Arcadian, it's there, and it's Hurst Street and Lower Essex Street and all those
Yeah.
areas. So
Okay,
there were
okay.
loads, and people are very friendly in Birmingham. A lot
Yeah.
of straight people go to the clubs, and they cordon off the whole area, and they have a right old rave for a couple of days, and it was fantastic.
Oh, fantastic. And how often do
And
they
a lot
do
of
that?
hot men were there.
That's the main thing, now that you've come out in it. So are you with anybody at the moment?
I'm happily single at the moment. I
Okay.
came out of a 2-year relationship a few months ago, but I'm
Okay.
very happy now.
That's good. Right. Another question I wanted to ask was, how would you encourage or advise other members of the community that are afraid to come forward? Like, what would you
To
say
come
to
out,
them?
the
Yeah,
ones who are
to
gay.
come out with it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was, I mean, you did it via text or email, or you had sisters, and touch wood, luckily you were
Safe.
safe and you were happy and you were lucky. You're one of the lucky ones. But what about those who aren't so lucky, or they're too scared?
So I don't think I was lucky. I think it's because of the work I did on myself,
Yeah.
where I've accepted it and
You accepted it with yourself first,
yeah.
before you came
and I'm a
out.
strong personality.
Were you confused yourself? Like, what
No.
age were you when you realised?
I started going through puberty at 8,
Yeah.
and I knew by the age of 11.
Yeah.
And by 13, I accepted it. For 2 years, 11 to 13, I tried to brainwash myself to be straight. I tried to imagine marrying a woman, the lifestyle, because I was afraid. And at 13, I was very resilient, and that's great because a lot of people don't get to that stage till much later.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that I am such a powerful, empowered person, and always have been,
Yeah.
that's helped me. But that's because the circumstances I grew up in. And basically, I get people who are like my age or older now who are struggling. And one thing that was fantastic for me was moving away from home, coming to London first for a couple of years, and then going to university, and then living in Europe, Middle East, Asia. It opened my mind, especially when I lived in India, because I knew friends or I dated guys whose parents were middle class from Delhi or Bombay, and they were very accepting of their kids being gay or lesbian, and it was just normal. And I realized the parents who are here, who came from a village background, they're a lot more closed-minded or not as modern and liberated compared to the city Indians that I met, parents in India.
Yeah.
So living away from that, if I hadn't moved away from Birmingham, Handsworth, the area I'm from, I would have been always scared and trapped. I think the opening of it, seeing the world, changed my life.
Oh, fantastic. So you you know, you went abroad and you found other people who were in the same boat.
Yeah.
So is that how you related, and that's how you accepted it and became more stronger?
I worked in human rights sector,
Yeah.
and I worked in refugee camps in the Middle East, and I saw people going through horrific things, and I just thought, that got me in thinking, reflecting about the purpose of life, and you know what, we come here to live our life and be true, and I don't want to ruin a woman's life. I decided that.
Yeah, I heard that on one of your interviews when you went on Sky. Tell our viewers what was the interview about and what you said.
Okay, so in Sky News, I was outed. The Sikh channel asked me to come on Sky News, and I didn't want to come out as gay on the channel. And the first question the woman said to me was, "So Manny, you're gay?" And on there, I did say after that was that from 11 to 13, when I struggled to make myself straight, the thing that got me.
But can I just stop you there and ask you that? Why were you struggling? Was it to impress your parents?
Yes.
Did you want to make them happy?
Yes.
And you were finding it difficult to deal with yourself. But then, weren't you more suppressed? Didn't you feel more depressed in that phase?
Of course, I was scared because I grew up in a very difficult household, and I was expected to be a certain way, and I didn't know what was going on. They don't teach this in school. They didn't used to teach it in school.
Yeah.
Now I actually go into schools. I work in a school, and I talk about. I'm an out gay teacher.
Yeah.
So, which is a rarity in itself. So basically, I wanted to please and be in that, I come from a very patriarchal society. All my uncles and Jache Daya, very macho, and all the boys and the lads who have since, been a bit weird with me. But basically, I decided that I wasn't going to ruin another woman's life, another person's life. She deserves the best possible partner who loves and adores and gives her the best. And I was willing to take the hit, and to basically, I was going to get good grades, and I got good grades, went to grammar school, everything like that. I was going to live away, get a career, and be self-sufficient. And
live your own life.
That scared my parents too, that I was self-sufficient. He doesn't need us.
Yeah.
So that scared them into submission, maybe. Yeah.
So how are your uncles with you now? Are they all right, or you don't? But do you really care? As long as you've got your, I find that anybody I've spoken to in whatever thing they're going through, as long as they've got their parents back up, they don't care about community. Even the parents said, I don't care what people think, you do what you got to do. I've got a lot of gay friends, I've got lesbian friends, and they're actually so open with it. When we go out, they're cuddling and touching and whatever.
Asian ones.
Yeah, Asian ones, right? They
in
don't
front
care.
of their family as well.
Yeah, they don't care. They really don't care anymore.
We're getting to that stage.
And I would be like, oh my gosh.
Shut up.
Yeah, that word sharam, what everyone covers. But, I find that, what? If that's how you want to be and that's who you love, then go for it. I don't think people should judge. But then you get all the other people
Auntie,
looking
uncles,
at them. Looking at them thinking,
the
hi, bisharam, like they shouldn't be doing that in public. Why not?
Times are changing now.
Yeah.
I was in Tesco the other day near my house, and there's a Gora walking around in a dress.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this gender fluidity things being more now, like, transgender, or people who don't want to conform. First it was sexual orientation, and now it's about gender, so what makes you a man or a woman, and the fluidity between that.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic, because even in Pride this year, I saw so many more people wearing what they wanted and feeling, feminine or masculine, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because lesbians in the past were allowed to wear masculine clothes, but if gay guys wore feminine clothes, they get beat up or ridiculed. So
can you go to places like this? Is there places where you can go and let your hair down and do what you want?
Yeah.
Dress how you want.
They have club nights and gay clubs you can go, and people dress up how they want. And I think when the school I work in now, and when I go into schools, kids are a lot more clued up. You've got YouTube, you've got loads more out celebrities, and things are changing, so it's fantastic. And with the family situation we're talking about, there's feuds were in my family anyway over land and money and inheritance. And
So this was just like a cherry on the cake. They
I was
used
a scapegoat,
Yeah, oh my God.
And what I did was I practiced a lot of forgiveness and compassion, meditation, in order to kind of release that. So I had to do it for a long time, a couple of months, and then basically whenever I see these people, I'm always pleasant, and they get shocked, like, oh, we speak so disgustingly, or we think so many disgusting thoughts towards you, but you're still nice to us. And with shame, they kind of melt, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So
because
it's not,
they feel stupid for judging you.
And it's not like I jump on top of them. I keep my distance and my boundary.
I hope not. Your dad will be worried.
Yeah. So I keep my distance and boundary, and then when I go to weddings and stuff, some people come up to me and some people are like, wow, 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 and some people are a little bit wary. But that's their business. That's their insecurity. It's not mine.
Yeah, that's
And
their own perception, right?
when I get married or a partner with kids and stuff, because my mom's looking right now. It's called Kraya di Kok, basically. So one of my cousins, all my Indian family are now like they know I'm gay, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, Karan Johar's gay and he's got these kids. And mom was like, how's that? Because first my mom was like, we don't want you to get married.
Yeah, like a surrogate mother would take the baby for you, wouldn't she? She'd have the baby for you.
Yeah,
Oh,
so she's
wow.
looking for one now. And she's trying to look for a guy for me as well. But she's like, "Kenda da munda chahida." Anyway, but for those people who understand Punjabi, like, what kind of boy do you want? But she's come around. She was against gay marriage first and against it. To what do you want our kids for? You're gay as you are. And now she's like, I don't care. Even if you're single, I want to have a child. I'm like, I'm not ready yet. She's like, we've looked after you. You're a baby. We look after the baby as well.
Oh.
So it's coming together nicely.
Yeah,
but
that's really nice.
It takes time.
It does. You know what? It's just time and patience. As long as you've got their support, I don't think you need to worry about anybody outside. I think what it is with the stigma in our Asian communities, it's like, you know, oh, you're not allowed to talk about it, you're not allowed to come out with it, and then where did you get the child from if you're gay? Whose child is it? Where did you get it from? You know, did you borrow it? Did you rent it? You know, it's the stupid mentality that people have got today of how they, you know, they're so interested in your own lives, in everyone else's lives, apart from their own. That just goes to show how broken their own marriages are, or their own families are, or they're probably going through the same rubbish.
Exactly what it must be.
Yeah, it is. Of course it is. It's like
dysfunction.
Dysfunctional. But yet they get entertained by what's going on in Manjinder's life and what BG said on YouTube.
Because I'm always on social media.
Yeah, I know. I know you are.
And they get jealous, you know, some of their cousins do, because they're like, oh, why is his dad allowing him to do that? Our dad doesn't allow us to go out. Our dad doesn't allow us to do that.
Do you remember that phase where all the Sikh boys with turbans were not allowed to cut their hair?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there was a dispute between the Muslim gangs and the Sikh gangs, and then all the Indian boys started cutting their hair, saying that, oh, they got attacked. But yet they didn't. They just wanted to have a haircut. But they used that
excuse.
Yeah, they
See,
used
I
that as
cut
an
my
excuse.
hair at the age of 15 because I used to have, I still do, psoriasis. And my doctor in the hospital said, you need to cut it. Because I used to wake up at 2 in the morning, scratching my head and bleeding. And it was so bad. And it was all the stress.
Yeah.
Psoriasis and, you know.
Yeah, I watched one of your videos where you lost a lot of hair. Then you started doing some kind of, I don't know, meditation or whatever you called it. Tell the audience about that.
So what I do is I do affirmations, and because I work as a life coach and stuff, I'm into the unconscious mind. So for the last couple of months, I've been reprogramming my unconscious mind by listening to something called Mind Power on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 different people speak very, very fast. And you have to listen to it a few times a day for a couple of months, and it just changes your whole perception. And I'm very vain, right? So I listen to...
Oh, we can't tell.
I listen to a couple of videos on looking handsome. I look at a couple of videos for my hair.
Oh, we've got a mirror. You can have a look in it.
And then for money, and then for a career, and then I listen to Soulmate, and then... I can't remember what else I listened to, but yeah, those kind of videos I listen to, so yeah.
Okay.
But they work, they do work. My hair growth is
yes,
thick
I know, I
and
can
strong,
tell.
and
I'm sure everybody
right
can
now,
see that here as well.
But I would highly recommend that.
Right. Now, where else would you like to tell everybody about this fantastic book that you've wrote?
So it's a #1 bestseller.
Yes.
It's self-published.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wrote it was because when I came out, there was nothing out in other languages. Nothing. And there was no support group either, only for people who spoke English, for parents.
Yeah.
So I was like, what should I do? I searched and searched. And then I'm into psychics and all these kind of like clairvoyants. And they said, you need to write a book, you need to do counselling for others. I said, no, because I was moving to Australia. But the name came to me, Bollywood Gay. And basically, I've written this book, and inside, there's different things I'll explain. But inside,
Why did you call it Bollywood Gay?
So it came to my head, and I thought it's a good title. People are going to want to buy it.
Yeah.
But then I also thought, you know, when I was growing up, I wanted to have that Bollywood relationship and lifestyle, but I couldn't have it because I was gay. You know, I couldn't marry that girl and whatever. So I thought it's kind of tying those two things back together. And in the book, I made it so in the center section, it's 13 different languages. So when you want to come out, instead of speaking about where you're getting the feeling in the front or the back, you can just open it up, and it's in all languages like Arabic, Hindi, Punjabi. And I made it so that it's in like 13 different languages inside.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And
Absolutely fantastic.
also, it's in 5 different versions. So hardback, paperback, Kindle, ebook, and audio. Audio
Yeah.
for those who like to listen to and
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
read.
yeah.
And then the reason why I did hardback was because, this is pink and it's very garish, and you might not want to have that in your house or read it on the bus. So you can simply take it off. And I wrote nothing on the spine, so it's just like a textbook now.
Yeah.
So if you're not fully out, because I had a friend, I lent him a book once,
Yeah.
and it was called Velvet Rage, about gay people.
Yeah.
The parents found it and they threw it in the bin, and they beat him. So that's why I basically made a book that you could be discreet with.
Okay. So it caters for everybody.
Caters for
Yeah.
everybody. And after every chapter, I wrote basically action sheets where, like, the counselling that I provide to other people, what you can do to remove all the
That's
stuff.
brilliant.
And exactly what I've done.
How do you
And-
limit yourself?
Yeah. And then there's also hashtags, and there's loads of competitions inside.
Yeah.
And certain proceeds go towards LGBT charities
Yeah.
In South Asia.
Sure.
So I'm going to give scholarships to certain people to come abroad and do basically get qualifications and go back and help these communities.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
and it
So
took
you're
a while to
motivated.
write.
Yeah.
And I'm writing another book now on relationships.
Yeah.
And I've got many things in the pipeline.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
And this is my gift to you, and I'm going to sign it later.
Thank you. Right. Now, what else would you like to share with the community?
Well, maybe I want to give a message.
Some personal message, yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? I get a lot of people who come to my house or message me, and I want to give 2 messages. One message to those who live in countries where it's illegal to be gay, and there's a lot of pressure, like India, Pakistan, Middle East, wherever you're from. Those people contact me, and if you're from a village background, maybe you cannot come out. Maybe, and my advice, I even write it in my book, maybe you have to come out in another life, and your purpose is to be open-minded for your kids.
Yeah.
Because your life might be, I'm not here to say you must do this, you must do that. You've got to follow your instincts. And then those who, they all want to run to the UK as well. And I would say, try to bring the change in your own countries as well. And then the British-born or the Western-born LGBT people, I would say, stand in your light, get help, support, get counselling, get therapy. There's a lot of things out there. Contact me if you want. I'm all over social media. And you've got all the facilities to help you to you can live that life.
Oh, fantastic. But you know what? I find that people in different countries, it's like, what happens in India? Discreetly, that person will just disappear from the earth.
Can do, yeah.
So it's better to start the campaign somewhere else. Right, we're going to go on a short break now, so hold that thought. And we're just going to come after a couple of minutes. So we'll be back just after this short break.
क्या आप वक्त को अपनी नजरों के सामने गुजरते हुए देखते हुए परेशान हैं? क्या आपके पास कोई ऐसे सवाल है जिनका आपके पास जवाब मौजूद नहीं है, या आप ऐसा वक्त गुजारना चाहते हैं जहां पे आपको जिंदगी का नजरिया अलग अलग तरीके से देखने को मिले? तो घबराइए मत, क्योंकि हम आ रहे हैं एवरी ट्यूसडे टू थर्सडे बिटवीन 10 AM and 11 AM ओनली ऑन साउथहॉल TV ऑन आवर वेरी ओन शो उठो जागो जियो, यानी कि वेक अप, गेट अप एंड लिव अप विद सिडो जाफरी, जहां पे हर ट्यूसडे को हम टाइम और अबंडेंस पे बात करेंगे, हर वेडनेसडे को हम पावर और ब्यूटी, और हर थर्सडे लव एंड हीलिंग. Every week we come together with our guests, providing you creative, constructive and nourishing solutions for your life. So get up and subscribe to southalltv.com so you never miss another episode of Utto Jago Jio with Sidhu Jaffrey. Awakening is an event that allows people to see the real reason why they're experiencing challenges on a day-to-day basis. My favorite part of the awakening is when people realize how much their destiny is in their hands. Awakening is a platform where you come and connect with people and understand how you might not be alone going through the family issue or the work issue or the relationship challenge. And by connecting with real people, having a real conversation, we can really create real change.
Hilarious.
Wonderful.
She's the most beautiful woman in the world.
Chocoholic.
Compassionate. Always busy.
Fun, such good fun.
Loving.
Beautiful smile.
Funny, always funny.
Stubborn.
So embarrassing.
A very special person.
Selfless. Strong.
Tired.
Always bloated.
So tired.
Struggled to eat.
She always used to be full up.
She just often said, I don't feel right.
I wish I'd known.
I miss her.
She's coming home today.
Ovarian Cancer Action has created the first dedicated scientific research centre in the UK, determined to find a cure.
With your help, all your sisters, daughters, grandmothers, wives and mums can keep on doing what only they do best.
Ovarian cancer, those words still haunt me. So please, help Ovarian Cancer Action continue their life-saving research so that others like me have a fighting chance.
To make a difference to families like these, we need your help now. Whether you want to help us by sharing the symptoms with other women, raising funds for our research and awareness work, or volunteering your time, working together, we can save lives.
Hi guys, we're back again with our lovely Manjinder.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yes, we've had a few funny giggles while the screens were off. So tell me, back to everything you've done in your life, let's talk about something totally different, like sex education.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to talk about that actually because
Sure.
I do get quite a lot of people from back home especially.
Okay.
So in the villages and the pind back home in India or Pakistan, and they message me and they don't get education there. And I've made a YouTube video in Hindi, I think, or Punjabi in it, because I do make my videos in English and Hindi, Punjabi, and they talk about things like, you know, they can't get it up, or their penis goes this way or that way, and I've done a whole video on it and to explain to them, because in our cultures back there, that they think it's a shame. They don't think anyone's doing it. But the truth be told, because men are not allowed to be with girls and date, especially in the villages,
Yeah.
men having sex with men is a big thing in India
Yeah.
and Pakistan, even if they're not gay.
Yeah. I watched a BBC documentary on that actually about the borderline.
About what?
The borderline. There was the BBC went and filmed that how much sex trafficking with children is going on behind the scenes, and it's boys where men
Yes.
are coming to pick up boys behind the coaches.
So yeah, two things I'm going to talk
Yeah.
about. So in India it happens a lot,
Yeah.
and a lot of, especially in the village, they have men on men sex, but don't always use protection.
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to talk about so that people can be aware that, you know, use protection, and it doesn't mean you're gay just because you're having sex with a man. It could be just like a release thing.
Yeah.
And then those who are gay
Yeah.
that contact me, they fall in love with these guys.
Yeah.
And they might be exploited and used, which leads me back to like sexual abuse as well,
Yeah,
which is a
yeah.
huge thing. And we talk about girls all the time, but boys we don't discuss at all. And it happens, for some reason, it happens a lot with gay people. And I don't know if it's the uncles or the family members can see that they're different, but it's a huge thing. A lot of gay people I've met have been sexually abused. And back home, it happens and they don't have no support. And here, there's a thing about, you know, grooming.
Yeah.
It happens to boys as well. On the weekend, I was at Gay Pride and I met people who had been sexually groomed by Asian or Pakistani men. And it's something that we're going to start doing workshops on and talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, and for women as well, I want to talk about women's issues, about
Yeah,
how...
let's go for it.
For women, because of the gender inequality, they're not allowed to go out as much as boys. Because in our cultures, obviously, we want boys and we let the boys be more free. So the girls, there's less lesbians because of that, I think, because they're not allowed and they are meant and told they have to marry a man. So women's sexuality and women's sort of self-awareness and love is not there. They're just told to be at home.
Yeah, no, because back in the days, it was a massive stigma, and you know, you were told to keep quiet, that it didn't happen. You know, your uncle was just being affectionate towards you.
Yeah.
He didn't touch you.
They don't
it's all in
admit
your head.
it.
Yeah,
They
it's
don't
not even
admit
admit
it.
it. It's not even admit it. They don't want to deal with it yourself,
don't wanna
and
deal
especially
with
if you go
it.
to your mom first. Nobody went to their fathers, right?
Because
Nobody
the father would probably kill them or
Yeah,
something.
the father would have just killed them off during the
As a
night.
shame.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cases, you know, if you ran away with, you know, being a Sikh girl and you ran away with a Muslim guy or a black guy, you know, it wasn't allowed. You know,
Yes.
then they're taken back home, kill him. Like your mom said in your video, that, you know, people have been taken back to India and killed.
Even when I started dating my ex, he's Pakistani and white mixed. My mum was like, "Koi Sikh munda mil janda." Like, she got a Sikh guy or a Hindu guy. Even a white guy was okay. Why did you go for a Muslim guy?
Yeah.
So the discrimination does exist.
Oh, of course, the
And it's still
prejudice
there.
does. Of course it does. It's like, you know, everybody, when we were growing up, it's like, you know, marry into your own culture. If not, don't make sure it's not too different, like
Yeah.
too many different worlds apart.
So we can understand them.
Yeah.
But today, someone posted to me on my Facebook, 2 girls got married, one Indian Hindu girl and one Gaudi, and they're beautiful.
That video, yes.
Video
it's
and
gone
pictures.
all over social media,
And
yeah.
I don't know if they allowed it to, but basically, the Hindu council, I did a workshop a few, like last year, and we asked the Sikh council to come, and Hindu, all the council, only the Hindu one came, and they're a lot more liberal. For some reason, the Hindu faith seems to be, I write about religion in my book, but I feel like the Hindu faith is
And
a
more
lot more
acceptable.
accepting.
For lesbians, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because throughout history, they've basically had their gods and goddesses have been male to female, or they've had love between 2 men, 2 women, Kama Sutra.
Yeah.
So they're a lot more, the gender is soulless. And even in Sikhism, the gender is soulless. And in the Anand Kaj, the marriage ceremony, it says 2 female souls unite with the male soul of God as a metaphor.
Yeah.
However, our body, governing body, says that marriage is only between a man and a woman. That's what they're saying now. Even though a lot of people think the Akal Takht is corrupt.
Yeah.
So there is issues with that. And it's funny because, you know, when the Sikh council, you know, when they had the bill whether you should have marriage in gurdwaras or not,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
controversial.
Yeah, of course.
But basically, the person who was writing the bill, he's a turban guy, he's gay himself. And he was
Wow.
writing it for, and he's a lawyer, right? He was writing it for the Sikh Council of the UK.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was supposed to interview him, and I was like, why are you part of this? And he's like, I want to know the wording. But I get guys who've married to women,
Yeah.
turbans, beards, the lot. They'll go to the Gurdwara, seem more normal, but they message me, and I know, and they tell me that they're gay or bisexual, and they're doing stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Because they're Amritari, because of that pressure, the background, the family,
Yeah.
they can't come out.
Oh, wow.
It's controversial, very
Yeah.
much so, yeah.
Yeah, but you get more people talking about, like we said, gays than lesbians. I remember watching a film a little while ago, a long time ago actually, of Shabana Azmi. And she fell in love with her sister-in-law because they never got that love from their husband. They just got abused in the family, and they fell in love
It's
as
a
2
true
women.
story.
Yeah, it was called Fire, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
by
yeah.
Shabana Azmi. She
Yeah.
and Nandita Das.
Yeah.
She's come in loads of films, and that film was absolutely fantastic. And then after that film, there was no films allowed. There was a director. I forgot what her name was. She actually, Ekta Kapoor,
Yeah.
Jitindra's daughter.
Yeah.
She wanted to make a film on lesbians, and she was told by the industry the moment she makes that film, it won't even be put to be judged. It'll just be
But it was
discarded.
released, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't
Not in
released.
India, but
no,
online,
I
was
think
it?
she released it online or something because it was restricted to talk about it. I mean, like you said, Karan Johar.
He won't come out.
No, he won't come out with it.
'Cause he's like, someone might say something.
yeah, even when some of the actors and actresses, when he asks them a question and they backfired it, and he's like, oh no, this show's not about me, it's about you.
Yeah.
And you can tell from his actions,
Mannerisms.
Yeah, his mannerism, his
Which is
body
not
language.
always the way you can tell, but that's one way you can
Yeah.
tell. Because in the past, we've talked a lot about, you know, gay men, for example,
Yeah.
and basically femininity being the thing. But now, everything's being changed. And what I've learned through my work, which is a learning process for me as well, because I've been quite narrow-minded as well. But basically, sexuality can change. Just because you're straight today doesn't mean that you're always going to be straight. You might, it might not happen, but you can. There's a spectrum. It might change, it might not. And the same with gender. Gender is what society tells us. Women need to be feminine and work out, you know, be at home and whatever, and men need to be like this. That's fluid as well. So through that kind of work, I've started to kind of accept my femininity, feminine characteristics as well. And I've learned that there's gay men who are very macho and gay men who are not, and women as well. And more emphasis on women is being put on now, but it's more transgender now and gender stuff. But there is we're going to open our minds in the years to come. This community is going to help the world and society to be a lot more accepting of difference and variety, and it's going to help even straight people to feel more comfortable to be, you know, the women doesn't have to cook and clean and stay at home. And recently I watched a film, and it's basically a Bollywood film where the guy stays at home and he makes the food and he looks after the woman, and the Kareena Kapoor, she goes out and she works, and there's a song High Heel and Ki or something, and he's wearing high heels and he's making the rotiyan, and she's basically working, and it's kind of an amazing film
to show how you change roles, right?
Challenging
Wow,
the
it sounds brilliant.
stereotypes.
So tell me something, can a, like you said, if you're straight, you could turn into, you know, you could have different feelings and turn into a gay. But can a gay person ever become straight?
Yes, so that can happen. And I write it in my book because people always say to me, oh, make me straight, make me straight. You can't make anything happen unless you accept it fully. So
but do they want to be straight for themselves or for the community?
Family? For the family only. And that's the thing. When it comes from the sake that you're trying to prove something to someone else, you're rejecting your identity. Only when you accept your identity and be okay with it, it might change. I mean, sometimes I can appreciate women. I've not done anything with a woman, but I'm not going to say in the future I never will, right? But you have to be fully in your element and embrace it. And when you get to that stage, if it's going to change, it will change. But when you're rejecting aspects of yourself, so that's even for straight people, if they have a little attraction or unconsciously and they're rejecting that, that will manifest in a nasty way then. You know, you've got to fully accept. It's all about being authentic.
So they're trying to fight against their feelings. Right? I had a friend, a couple of years ago, she was told by her daughter that she wasn't happy as a woman. She was never happy as a woman. She did everything to do with boys, like she'd play football, she'd play rugby. She was never, ever happy as a woman. It took her, I think, about 6 years to come out of her shell. And she's
Asian?
No. She was from the Jamaican community.
Okay.
And it took her a long time to actually talk to her mum about it.
About being transgender.
Yeah, and she's actually from Birmingham, and she came to London to have the change done, and she just completely had the full operation and everything now, and she's so much happier as a boy, you know. She's so much happier because she could talk about it, and the biggest person she wanted to back her up was her mom.
And did she?
And her aunties and her uncles. You know, being Jamaicans, like Indian families.
Yeah.
They love her for who she is.
That's great.
They don't care whether she wore a dress or you know, became a boy, right? But they just loved her for what she was, and they accepted her because they wanted her to be open about things. But like you said, that we're not allowed to talk about it. You know, why can't we be open? My gay friends, it's like they do whatever they want, and I'm the one who feels shy for them. Then I thought, you know what, actually chill out, do what you want, be yourself, you know.
Because we're conditioned
but
by
society. They actually feel like everyone's looking at them, they're looking around, like, you know.
They're too conscious.
Yeah, they're conscious. Insecure. Because even though they've talked to their families about it, but they go to gay bars and stuff, but it's just been accepted in like the normal life.
I think it's all changed since, was it Eurovision, Conchita or something? There was a singer who basically had a beard.
Yeah.
And
with a dress on, didn't he?
Yeah. And now...
I think a couple of years ago.
And on X Factor, the guy, I met him at Gay Pride actually in Birmingham, X Factor, he's like from, I think, South Africa or something, and he's beautiful, and he's like, I think, mixed Chinese and English or whatever he is, Thai or something, and he wears like gay gowns, like dresses kind of thing, and he sings with heels on. He's such a good singer. He's an X Factor, find him on YouTube, remember, quite amazing, fantastic person. But with these people now showing that you can be whoever you want to be, we're getting more young people, and so many in the schools these days who have issues with their gender when they feel they're trapped in a wrong body, or they want to be not just only wearing one type of clothes, they want to mix it up.
Yeah.
And I think it's giving people that outlet. And even I'm seeing it in the gay scene change. The sign for a famous gay club in Birmingham is called Nightingale.
Yeah.
And they've changed the N. On one hand, it's like a fist and like very muscles and all that kind of stuff. Showing my muscles do yoga. And on the other side, it's like someone's leg, hairy leg, but it's wearing heels.
Okay.
So the stick of the N is the heels, and then that side is the arm doing the fist.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's showing that you can be both, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong.
Nightingales.
With it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. So I find it's like if you saw a guy in a dress, you'd think like, wow. I mean, look at somebody as famous as Will Smith.
Yeah.
His son just came out with it, didn't he? He started wearing dresses.
Yeah.
Do you
But we
remember?
don't even know I don't know what his sexuality is, but his gender, it's
because
like...
he accidentally slipped up in an interview he was doing with MTV.
What did he say?
He said something about being wearing a bisexual or wearing a dress or something. Because he started wearing a lot of dresses, didn't he?
Women have better clothing.
Yeah.
Men only have a certain amount of things they can wear. Women have so many different varieties. If men wore ethnic clothes, like if I wore Indian clothes, there's a lot more, types of. And when I was like in India, they're like, oh, wear this. When you go Gurdwara, wear this type of dhoti or wear this and that. And I was like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Well, it's cold for one. And secondly, people are going to look at me funny. But women have better clothes choices, I think.
But do you dress up as a girl though?
I have never, as when I was young actually, I'm not going to lie, when I was young, my mum used to make me, and I did a picture at home.
Oh,
I've got.
every mum made their kids. I've got 2 sons, and we used to dress them as in a dress.
And take a picture?
Just take a picture.
Why?
Because we just did. It was
You
just
messed
so
them
cute.
up. You messed them up. I've got one picture of me as a baby, naked.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, we all did that as well.
What, to show that they've got a
No,
penis?
just to show, like, it's just cute, you
Oh,
know?
it's so
In them
cute.
days, it was cute. Now it's like
I think
illegal.
I've destroyed
You're
those.
not allowed.
I think I've destroyed those 2 pictures because once I wore black nail varnish when I was young, and the other time my mum was like, oh, because I used to do a lot of acting in front of the camera.
Yeah.
My dad used to always make video cameras.
Yeah,
So I
like
used to put
home
a
videos.
tea towel on, trying to be my grandma with a walking stick, and basically.
So it's your mum and dad's fault.
I blame them. Yeah.
But when my kids were smaller, or we had nieces and nephews, we always used to make them play with girls' toys and boys' toys because we didn't want them to feel that he's a boy and he can only play with
So
boys'
that's quite
toys.
liberal. That's
No.
quite
But the thing
open-minded.
is, we used to make them play with Wendy houses and cooking and stuff and little Hoovers. But now, if you do that, they say, the more you do it to your child, you're trying to make him a gay. So why do they have that? Why is that going on like when I'm talking about 20 odd years ago? But now, if you make a little boy play with a doll, boys like playing with dolls. They like combing the hair because they see the little sisters playing with it. Why are they not allowed to?
And also, if they have children when they grow older, they're going to do that anyway. And I grew up only playing with masculine toys.
Yeah.
I was not allowed to play with feminine toys. I had cars, racing, all the masculine.
Because you were the only boy, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
so-
still turned out gay. And I know friends who basically, there's like 3 or 4 boys, and one of them or 2 of them turn gay, and there's no like, you can't tell when and where someone's going to be gay. And playing with toys, now I think you should be neutral and you should allow them to choose what they want. I've seen videos. One guy where the boy wanted to buy a Barbie, so he let him buy a Barbie, and the boy is playing with it. And another one where he wants to have a cooking set, like he said. And that's absolutely fine, because girls are allowed to be tomboys, girls are allowed to be like that.
Yeah.
But why aren't boys? Because to be a girl is seen as shameful.
Yeah.
Being feminine is seen as shameful.
Yeah.
Because being a woman is seen
Because
as
they want
less
to,
than.
like you said,
It's a gender discrimination
yeah,
again.
they got to be muscular, haven't they? Because it's our son, something we prayed for so long. When they find out he's gay, it's like, oh my gosh.
He's less than.
Yeah.
Because women are less than.
He's lessened, yeah.
Feminine characteristics are less
Yeah.
than.
Yeah.
So that's gender discrimination again. And when I was at Pride this weekend, there was 2 Indian guys, very handsome, very beautiful, both brothers, both gay. Very masculine, very macho, and once I remember we got a phone call from Canada or America, because my mum helps with counselling online to the parents, right? And the son's gay and the girl's lesbian, right? Oh, wow. So, and she only got 2 kids, and the mum was on the phone to my mum, and she's like, oh, the boy's just going through a phase, he's going to be fine. The mother was in denial. And she said, the girl's just abandoned, she's just chatting rubbish, and she just doesn't know what, she's lost her head.
So basically, she wasn't dealing with it as a mother. She didn't want to accept it.
It's a double shock, though, so you can imagine it's hard.
Wow.
But that's, you know what it is? I believe in reincarnation and I believe in our purpose on earth.
Yeah, yeah.
These kids come to educate their parents as well
Yeah.
and open them up, because from my experience with my parents are a lot more loving, forgiving, open-minded, a lot more respectful, a lot more happier, because they don't care about other people anymore. Because the community was always about
Because they want you as a son. Doesn't matter what your sexuality is. Doesn't matter if you know, love a boy or a girl.
It's about love.
It's about love, yeah. It's
And
about
they've
that they
realised-
brought their son up.
They
Yeah.
realised happiness does not depend upon what you do and what you give to me and how you act,
Yeah.
nor is it to do with what I'm going to prove to the world.
Yeah.
Happiness is with me and how I feel.
Yeah.
So you do whatever you want to do, I'm still going to be happy.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of liberated themselves of all these shackles that they had.
Yeah, yeah.
So LGBTI people, like disabled, autistic, or anyone who's different, you know, ethnic minority, repressed or whatever, they're a gift to the world, because they're here to show the world that basically your happiness or how you feel does not depend on me. And it liberates them, and the family becomes a lot more happier. My family is a lot more chilled out, more relaxed, more modern.
Yeah, I know. I saw your mum's video, and she was like, she said that a lot of people from the community actually, you know, criticized her. They said so much stuff to her, but she stood up and she said, you know what? It's God's gift. That's how God's made my child, or any gay guy or a lesbian. It's not what they've learned or picked or, you know, read a book about. Well, obviously, this might be this might be your secret to success. You know, this might help a lot of
if
people,
I can
wouldn't
do it,
Yeah.
and I come from very difficult circumstances,
Yeah.
like if you read my life story in there, the first chapter, you'll realise, and I haven't even been able to write most of the stuff down because
it's your own personal journey.
Because my family won't let me. Because it's like, there's a what will other people say.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I make videos, I have to edit them or delete them because I can't offend. So I can't, maybe...
You don't want to upset your parents, even though they're supporting you. You still got that little border thing you don't
I
want to
have
go
to.
over.
So there'll probably be a part 2 when I'm like 50 years old, when I can write about everything, when all the older people have, you know, gone to a better place. But it's like, if I can do it, there's tools in there. I do workshops to help people to get to that stage. Because
I mean, share your website and stuff with the...
Yes, you can find me on myspiritualsoul.com. I'm on Twitter, Manjinder Sidhu, YouTube, Manjinder Sidhu, and then on Facebook, it's My Spiritual Soul. So you can find all that. And Bollywood Gay is available. Google it. You can Google my name and Manjinder Sidhu. I'm everywhere.
Sure.
Yeah, pictures of me that I don't even know existed are online. So yeah.
Wow. I know I got
Nothing
your pictures.
naughty though. Thank
God.
Not yet, anyway.
So what else would you like to share with us? Anything? What, like your own personal journey? Because, you know, this platform is all about you, and you're talking to our community. We want to tell people, you know, I can ask you thousands of questions because I'm one person who just never stops talking, and as you know...
Nor do I.
Yeah, I know, I can tell. I've met my match, as in opposites.
You know what? Yeah. I never thought I'd be doing this work in a million years. I never thought I would be helping gay people, especially Asian people. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah.
You know, I studied Egyptian archaeology. I was going to do that. Then I did human rights. I was just going to help people out.
Yeah.
And I think it all came from the dysfunctional background I came from. And I wanted to heal that within me.
Yeah.
And so that's why I work as a coach now. But everywhere where I worked, I did do a bit of LGBT work on the side. Because again, I read a blog, if you can't come out, you should work with gay charities.
Yeah.
Because that will help you to get comfortable in yourself.
Yeah.
So
to be amongst people who are going through the same thing.
To get inspired.
Yeah.
So basically, I have been led to this path somehow. No matter how hard I tried not to go down it, it took me there. Because I wanted to work doing the human rights stuff and doing things, but I'm doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
And the message...
But you are still doing human rights things, because as a human being, you have got the right to love who you want to love, and not what your families want you to love, you know?
So I'm kind of doing activism with my own life, whereas
Yeah.
I thought earlier, before, back in the day, that I would do activism like with other people's lives and be in the background.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of pushed. But what got me to this stage was that I got really annoyed with all the people who were suffering, and there was no one doing anything about it. And the message I wanted to give was, you know, people ask me, how do you find your purpose? And I write about it, but you've got to follow your highest excitement, your joy, whatever makes you most happy, whatever makes you feel so good, and the next step will come. So always listen to your gut instincts and be in that powerful place and know what is right for you, and you will achieve things and do things unimaginable. Like your life will go places where you've never been, and you have to kind of cut out the noise of what your parents say, and I get that too as well still, that do this or do that, and you've got to really follow your instincts. And a lot of kids from a very young age, especially from our backgrounds, from ethnic backgrounds, are kind of forced and, you know, told to do this and do that, and they lose in touch with themselves. And that's where all the dysfunction, the self-hate, and, you know, I have nieces and nephews who are being forced, you know, to study really hard maybe, and cousins I know, and the kids are not very happy, you know, and so I just say always...
Do you find there's a lot of pressure in different...
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, pressure in studying, pressure how you dressed, pressure how you look, pressure on losing weight.
And now with Instagram and
yeah.
stuff, everyone's all, you know, self-obsessed and narcissistic, and it's all about gym body and this abs and that abs and big ass. And I just feel like no one's living for themselves anymore.
Yeah,
and
they're too busy satisfying and pleasing everybody else, but yet they're so broken and shattered inside because they're too busy making a face for someone else.
I know people who basically pretend with their pictures and with their videos that they're so happy, but they're so depressed, and then they phone me and they're crying and they've got all these issues, and it's all a facade. So all this sort of like technology and stuff, and when I was at the Pride this weekend, I just saw so many people who were drinking more alcohol and like
just to get away from
sex
things,
and food to avoid themselves, and you have to sit in it.
That's it. But that's how people deal with it. When you go out, and when I go out, I've seen girls who are just totally legless. And they to start off with, they walked in really beautiful, elegant, then they're legless by the end of the evening.
Where's the respect and
yeah,
honour?
I think people are losing their own self-respect. But I found a lot, I support a lot of women who've been through domestic violence as well, women who have been married forcefully with somebody and found out after they've had kids that, oh, he's actually gay, which then brought domestic violence into the relationship because the man was so frustrated with, he couldn't talk about it, right? He couldn't talk about it, and then he just, you know, took it out on the woman.
And that's why it's important we do this work. We need to protect families.
No, of course. Right now, we're coming to an end with this fantastic guest of mine, Manjinder. It's been an absolute pleasure, honestly.
Wow, the hour's gone already.
Yeah, I know. I think we should ask the director if we can extend it.
Have another session with maybe questions and answers.
Yeah, but you know, as a guest, we'd like you to come back again and tell us about your second book, and I will be putting stuff on about you and your YouTube videos and stuff, because I'm very proud to know you. I'm glad I have a new friend now.
Oh, it was really nice coming here. Thank you so much.
Who's our Bollywood gay. And if there's anything else you'd like to share, and then we're going to close the show.
No, if you want to follow me on YouTube, I'm making really cool videos. I'm trying to revamp it up with new, like, I do green screen as well and new lighting. So if you've got any questions, contact me, and then I can answer that. And if you need any therapy.
Or if they have any ideas and stuff which could help, where you could combine
and work together, because I do workshops. And if you want therapy, read my book. It's great. It will help you. And keep watching Southall TV.
Yes, and on that note, we will take your leave, and I'll be back on Friday with another fantastic guest. Obviously, you know, in a different, from a different topic completely. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Manjinder.
I've loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
क्या आप वक्त को अपनी नजरों के सामने गुजरते हुए देखते हुए परेशान हैं? क्या आपके पास कोई ऐसे सवाल है जिनका आपके पास जवाब मौजूद नहीं है, या आप ऐसा वक्त गुजारना चाहते हैं जहां पे आपको जिंदगी का नजरिया अलग अलग तरीके से देखने को मिले? तो घबराइए मत, क्योंकि हम आ रहे हैं एवरी ट्यूसडे टू थर्सडे बिटवीन 10 AM and 11 AM ओनली ऑन साउथहॉल TV ऑन आवर वेरी ओन शो उठो जागो जियो, यानी कि वेक अप, गेट अप एंड लिव अप विद सिडो जाफरी, जहां पे हर ट्यूसडे को हम टाइम और अबंडेंस पे बात करेंगे, हर वेडनेसडे को हम पावर और ब्यूटी, और हर थर्सडे लव एंड हीलिंग. Every week we come together with our guests, providing you creative, constructive and nourishing solutions for your lives. So get up and subscribe to southaltv.com so you never miss another episode of Utho Jago Jio with Sidhu Jaffrey. Awakening is an event that allows people to see the real reason why they're experiencing challenges on a day-to-day basis. Part of the awakening is when people realize how much their destiny is in their hands. Awakening is a platform where you come and connect with people and understand how you might not be alone going through the family issue or the work issue or the relationship challenge. And by connecting with real people, having a real conversation, we can really create real change. Decision creates destiny.